All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It's Monday night, and we're at
Mugello.
Mugello. Nick, thanks very much. Just catching up with everyone. It's me, Alan Paterson, in the booth, joined by my friend Nick Hodgson. How are you, man?
I'm very well, thanks, Alan. And yeah, thanks everybody for joining tonight. It is once again the start of the season. Everybody is going to be eyeing their chances for that championship. Right now is the time where everybody's hopes are high, liveries are new, and yeah, everyone's looking forward to getting going.
Completely, 100%. Everyone's had a bit of a break. We've been fiddling around with testing of touring cars and prepping for that season. A lot of reskinning that's happened, a lot of team movements that have happened. But trust me when I say the cars are looking amazing tonight. We should have some excellent coverage here. And welcome to everyone on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Stick with us, guys. We'll be giving you all of the information that you need to know tonight, as well as bringing you, of course, the action live. And it's going to be a fantastic race. I can smell it already. Mugello is amazing for single-seat, downforce-ridden cars. Of course, we're going back there, I think, with the F1 soon. So, yeah, look forward to that too.
Yes, that's correct. Couple of a good couple of regular faces that we all know, the usual instigators here tonight, and a couple of new guys. Jan Sparmas, Brent Lindsay Ray, Christopher Langeveld, Matt Boy, Peter Geldenhuys, Andrew Walbolt, etc., etc. We are, however, awaiting the arrival of Jacques Botha, who is on our list, but he hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah, that's of course at the moment the drama of the evening. The Jacques Botha, currently the reigning champion, and I think champion for both seasons so far in 2020.
Yes.
So yeah, that's certainly big news.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think maybe he's possibly suffering from the Eskom woes, perhaps, or he hasn't got home or got back from work. We haven't heard anything. We don't know where he is. So let's see. He's still got 12 minutes to connect before the race. We'll see if he can get here in time.
Yeah, absolutely. I see we've got 23 people. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 23 people on the server. So you never know. We're just waiting for those first qualifying times to come in. The guys have got 15 minutes to set a lap. 22, 23 odd, no, 21 people on track. Got to minus us as commentators, of course.
Yes.
21 people on track. So yeah, it shouldn't be too much of an issue for these guys to find some space around Mugello. You don't want to be drafting behind someone, particularly because of the nature of the corners here. So many of them are fast, downforce-ridden corners that you absolutely, apart from the main straight, of course, as they come over the start-finish line, you really don't want to be stuck behind someone.
Well, unless you're on this long straight, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, exactly. On the long straight, then great, but yeah, it's just try to catch someone at the end of your lap, not the start of the lap.
Yeah, true. Okay, so here we can see some of the times coming in straight away. Langeveld, a real truckload of time ahead of the whole field at the moment with the 1:33.9.
Yeah, and expect that time to come down as well, Alan. It's we saw Langeveld kind of a class of his own in practice, so we'll have to see what that turns out like for the race.
Yeah.
Certainly, I'd expect somebody like Jacques Botha to be challenging him, but as he's not here, Langeveld has the track to himself, so to speak.
Yeah, he's really wringing this car's neck, as you can see him a little bit ragged through the first couple of S-bend sections. A quick update on tyre selection as we stand with this is now pretty... No, it's not. It's a complete domination of mediums with maybe 3 or 4 drivers on hards at the moment. So no one's on softs. Everyone on mediums except for Lionel Clue, Raymond Duggan, Corne Breett, Jan Sparmas, and Ryan de Azevedo and Steven Sparks. The rest, everyone on mediums. So there we go.
Yeah, fantastic. Tires are always going to be an interesting choice. I imagine Mugello's really going to eat into those tires. As I said, all these corners very high downforce, and that's going to put a lot of energy through your tires and really have a big effect on your race pace.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed there, the sim racing crew working very cleverly together with Langeveld, and I think it was probably going to be Peter Geldenhuys.
Yeah, I think Geldenhuys.
No, it wasn't him. It's somebody else. They went down the straight together, so everyone's giving each other team drafting. Geldenhuys now on the straight. So there are 3 team members from the sim racing crew tonight. I'm not sure who else that was.
Yeah, and interestingly, the sim racing crew seems to be the only team that hasn't really changed their livery for this evening.
That's also true. Good point.
And just checking in with the with our YouTube followers. Welcome everybody, and I see Zhao's interested in joining us. As I mentioned in the comments, go check out simracesa.co.za and sign up. All proceeds go towards our charity, and yeah, come join in the fun.
Yeah, definitely. It's
our charity, of course, being the Walmer project.
It's good, clean racing, and the guys are very competitive. They are well mannered. As we just watched Jan Spammers drive off the track into a sand trap.
Matthew Boy popping into second. Sorry to interrupt.
That's
but he's
fine.
now on a 35-1. As you say, Langeveld's still class of his own, and as I say, that Marius Skuman. So the battle here for second position is quite hot at the moment. I mean, 35-0 for Marius, and then you go down to Lionel Clue in fifth at a 35-188. So, you know, that's not even, that's barely a tenth.
Yeah. Listen, you could go further. You could go down to literally 10th position at a 35-7. So that's 7 tenths covering 6 cars.
Yeah, that's big. And there we go. Peter Geldenhuys putting in a 34-7. The sim race crew has really found a good setup around here.
Yes. All right, he's just jumped back in the pits. So we've got just on 7 minutes to go. I still do not see any sign of Jacques Botha. His pit box is there, but it is wide open at the moment. He is not in the track at the moment.
Yeah, Black Widow Racing saying loving the pit stop areas. And thank you to Shani's Designs for excellent liveries.
Yes.
I've got to say, I've been checking out the BWR liveries, and my personal picks have been definitely Leon Leroux. I'm loving the black and white. I think that's just so classy for me. And there was the orange. I'm trying to remember who was in orange. I'm just going to try and find them. And they were really looking quite McLaren-esque.
Very, yes.
Oh, we got some more movements up at the top. Gasco and slotting into third place. Marius Skuman slotting now into fourth place. And in fact, it is Marius Skuman, the livery I was talking about for BWR.
That's it, the orange and black. Sorry, I was on that just now. Just ahead of him as well, I just want to put a word in for Bjorn Buchner as well. You can see, I'll just get some focus on his car. He's running the good old Gunston replica livery, which looks fantastic on the track. And another replica, Andy Walbolt, running a Red Bull replica, which also looks amazing. And, sorry, carry on.
Go for it.
5 minutes, 5.5 minutes left. No idea about Jacques Botha.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Clearly not joining tonight, it doesn't seem, unless he really wants to give himself a challenge and start from the back. So Ryan de Azevedo currently for almost, call it half a second, up on his best, sitting currently in 16th place. You never know, he could find himself slotting all the way up somewhere around 11th with a lap like this. Gets good drive coming onto the start-finish straight.
Yes.
And as he comes across the line, we should see an improvement here. As I see, Raymond Duggan also set his personal best, and there we go, Ryan slotting himself up into 11th.
That was a great lap.
Oh, fantastic work there by him. And I think Marius Skuman has now just slotted himself into second place, finding about 2.5 tenths.
Marius Skuman. Where's he at the moment?
He's sitting second now.
Second, that's right. So, all right, he's on a hot lap. He's following Bjorn Buch. Oh, no, he's not. It's his teammate ahead of him. So this is going to involve a little bit of streaming, drafting when they get onto the long straight.
Oh, absolutely. And Matthew Boy is also slightly better on his personal best at the moment. Lost a little bit through a couple of corners, but he's back to 3/10 improvement currently. So we could be seeing Matthew get himself into the 34s and possibly challenging Gerard Pretorius for 5th.
Yes.
So watch out for that.
Matthew Boy currently on the track just ahead of the Marius Skuman teamwork going on, so this should be interesting. Marius Skuman's dropped off, and well, he's on his belt. He's on the bubble on his delta at the moment. His teammate, in fact, just driven out of the way, so they are clearly not trying to do a drafting effect. As Matthew Boy now coming onto the straight.
Yeah, as you see him go through the final corner, you can see he's lost a little bit from what I was saying initially. So he had a fantastic first couple of corners. So there is more time for Matthew to find here. He can definitely knock a couple of tenths off this time. So 35 dead.
35 dead. Stay 6th.
Yeah.
3 minutes to go.
Yeah, he must get out there and do a last-ditch attempt because there's definitely more time to be found. Let's have a look, see if there's anybody else who's looking for improvements. Dirkie Swanepoel just a fraction up. Same with Brent Lindsay Ray. So the guys really, Marmegi there, popping into 16th. The guys really finding their strides right at the end of the qualifying session.
How's it, Barry, on YouTube? Go BWR.
Yeah, fantastic again to see the BWR support. And we've got Steven Sparks, who's of almost a full second up on his delta as he crosses the line and slots straight into 11th. Look at that. That's an improvement at the death.
That was a big jump. He was 20th at that point.
Correct.
Right, so
guys really getting hot and heavy. Corne Breed looks like he's going to improve. There we go. He slots up into 12th.
12th place. Just watching Gascoigne at the moment, who was slightly up. Oh, and he's just lost it as I watched him go around that corner.
Yeah, unfortunately the commentator's cursed, but these guys are all finding time right at the death. There we can see Dirkie Swanepoel in 8th, having improved his best time. I see Marmegi's not had the best qualifying. He's just messaged on our group chat saying, oh, not quite the best time in qualifying for him in Italy, but of course our resident Italian. But he's certainly going to be looking for a stronger race. As Marius Skuman puts in his personal best for a 34-1, and not quite challenging Langerfeld, but we'll have to see what happens in the race.
Yes, courtesy of Marmegi, he said Mugello is in the Scarperia area, which translated apparently means little shoe, and that refers to Toscana's large leather working and shoe factories and industry. Very interesting.
Absolutely. So these guys are going to be pushing hard in Italy tonight.
Matthew Boy's close to his delta. He's not in green yet, but he was there or thereabouts. But
yeah, so this section that we're going through now is where he was doing very well, his last personal best. So as you can see now there, he's got that corner right now, which is where he lost some time. So he's going to be about level on his delta, and now it's all to play for Matthew Boy.
Yeah. He's like thousandths out of his green figures. So as you can see, he's very close. We're going to follow him go around.
Yeah, Matthew, of course, a massive fan of AC. He loves the fact that the liveries in the AC look really good in the matte colors. So
yes. Oh, I see what you did there. Ha ha.
Yeah. Intentionally unintentional.
Yes.
But,
yes.
No, genuinely, he does love the matte colors and feels that it's much. They come across much better in AC than they do in ACC.
True. Right. So I think that's that. It's 10 seconds left, and then a little bit of a countdown. So we'll see anybody else on a hot lap Mario Skuman's out still. Matthew Boy's just finishing. Grassa is 2/10 up, down. Swanepoel.
Turkey Swanepoel may have
Britt.
squeaked over for another lap, but he
Okay.
has locked up into the first corner. Sorry, Corne Britt.
Yeah,
Yes.
14th. He's up. He is a good 1/10 up, and let's see if he can carry this through to the end, to the start-finish straight.
Those two corners that we've just gone through
Yes.
now, now we're switching focus to the race, the Arabiatas. Those corners, watch out in the race, chaps. That's where we are likely to see drivers make mistakes. Very easy to clip a curb or get that corner wrong, and if you do, you go flying off. You almost get slingshotted off into the barriers, and that's obviously going to cause you a lot of damage, but also where you're going to lose a lot of places. Mugello is a tricky track to get right, especially in the race. It's all well and good hot lapping, as we see Corne Britt shooting for the line, 1.5 tenths better on his delta. Let's see what this does for him. Could he get into 13th? Not quite. Not quite. But a good effort there. No, he did get into 13th.
Yeah,
Sorry, he did. He just squeaked it from Sparks.
Excellent. End of that session. We're going to go to a quick ad break, and we'll be back with you shortly. Stand by. All right, we're back. Ready for the start. Here we go.
It's lights out and off they go. Marius Skuman having a run on Christopher Langeveld as they go into the first corner. Langeveld's got the inside line though. I expect Langeveld to keep that position. Marius Skuman turning in a little bit early, got a bit nervous there, but he's still right on the bumper of Christopher Langeveld.
Oh, it's all going on behind them. People are going into sand traps everywhere.
Oh yeah, I see Matthew Boy's in the sand trap. Unfortunately, he's going to have lost a lot of positions. Jan Spammers as well looks to have had an awful start.
Yeah.
But up at the front, we've still got Marius Skuman pressuring Christopher Langeveld as they come into the Arabiatas for the first time on lap 1 of the 45-minute race.
Peter Geldenhuys up into 3rd place.
Yeah. The two lead drivers definitely pulling a little bit out on Peter Geldenhuys already.
Midfield is very close up. Everyone's still trying to attack here. Currently on board with Lionel Klue in... sorry?
I see Dirkie Swanepoel must have made a mistake. He's fallen down.
Yeah, Dirkie. Matthew Boy all the way down in 16th at the moment. As they come onto the start-finish line for their first lap. And it's Langeveld ahead of Skuman. That was a nice clean first lap for these guys.
Got some good banter going on in the YouTube chat, loving it. Oh, Henry and Barry having a nice chat there. Good to see some friendly banter, chaps. That's what we love about this community.
Right, who's racing who? Corne Britt, this midfield battle. These Corne in 8th, Klue ahead of him, and Cohen ahead of him. They're nose to tail.
I was going to say those chaps are absolutely not a piece of paper to separate them.
Yeah. Oh, and just up ahead.
We're looking at Gerard Pretorius as well. He's challenging Peter Geldenhuys now for third podium position. Apparently Jacques has had load shedding woes. The Escom god's not playing well tonight for him, unfortunately. Oh, and Gerard Pretorius has run off.
Yep. And that field are now pouncing on him.
Yeah, through Pelagio, made a mistake. And as I said, as we ended qualifying, mistakes at this track cost you dear. Gerard luckily only losing one position so far, but as you pointed out, he's now in that long midfield train of cars,
yes,
most of which are BWR, of course. We've got Gerard Pretorius, Gascoigne, and Lionel Clue, all part of BWR.
Nick, you know what's great to see? Although they're all teammates, as we said at the end of last season, they're different colours this season. So it's great to see. Ooh,
here we go.
That's Clue and Clue and Cohen changing position here.
Yep.
Lionel Clue going past for a good overtake into 6th place.
Yeah, great overtaking move there by Lionel.
Duggan and Sparks having a bit of a dice. There's a huge big dice going on here in 13th, 14th, 15th place. The whole gaggle of cars, including Matthew Boyd, trying to cut through this traffic.
Yeah, of course. Remember, Matthew had a problem at the start and was off into the gravel trap, and we didn't quite see that incident, unfortunately. So did Jan Spammers, who's a bit further behind. I'm wondering if Jan's got some damage, but Matthew's certainly trying to gain some places and work his way back.
Yeah, right in front of him, Grasser just drove off the track, so he's got one position there.
Got 2 positions, I think, up into 15th now. That's really helped Matthew. So yeah, I'd imagine he'd be thinking about his strategy options. Remember, guys they don't have to take a pit stop, if I remember correctly, but 45 minutes is a bit long for these F3 cars to take on fuel for the whole race distance. If you're lucky, you'll get about 40 minutes out of it. So they will be stopping at some point.
Got Mr. Mulder, Daryl Mulder, back in 20th in the pink BWR car. Having a good race here with Andy Walbolt, but further ahead, Mr. Buchner's just been...
Buchner's made a mistake, yeah.
He just had 2 guys go past him, so...
And you see how the midfielders just gobbled him up immediately.
Exactly.
That's something I was pointing out to the point blank guys today. And then obviously, unfortunately for Matthew, he's come off the track. But if you can just keep yourself clean around Mugello, mistakes are going to happen, and you will be able to gain positions. That's just the nature of the track.
It is. It's a driver's track, and it's a timing track. You really have to. You've got to get one corner must feed into the next corner as smoothly as possible.
Oh, Sparks and Antipas having an almighty ding-dong battle, and Sparks trying to go around the outside of Antipas, and it just didn't quite work through Poggio Secco. Please excuse my awful Italian pronunciations.
Great job, Nick.
But yeah, hopefully we don't have any Italians watching tonight. But yeah, what this really proves is that you just get racing up and down the field. No matter where you find yourself, you will be nose to tail of somebody in this F3 series.
Exactly.
Matthew Boyd now working himself into 13th position. Sorry about that.
No problem. Further up, back into 7th. Cohen, Briat, Marmegi, 7th, 8th and 9th. They are all still pretty much nose to tail here. Green, orange, yellow cars. That's Clue Pretorius just ahead of him, sorry.
And just checking in with our front runners, Marius Skuman is now, the gap's now 1.1 from him to Langerveld. So he's keeping him honest, but if you notice, 4 tenths here, a couple of tenths there. So consistently Langerveld is slightly quicker. But we did see Langerveld absolutely blitz the qualifying. So Marius Skuman's definitely got a lot more pace in race trim over, the delta to Langerveld is a lot smaller.
Yeah. Nick, as I was changing camera, I got a glimpse of Cohen, who's now dropped from 7th down to 14th place.
I see that.
He went through the last corner onto the start-finish line, but he was on 2 wheels, and the car, it looked like a motorbike actually. He must have hit either the curbing or something very hard that lifted the whole inside of the car up. Anyway, he went right into the sand trap. He's probably got a huge amount of damage to the car.
Okay, well, at least he gets our prize for Stuntman of the Night.
And I'll tell you what, if you watch that replay back, just take a mental note to go and look at about 38 minutes and counting on the YouTube video. You'll see that it was just in the bottom of the screen, but it looked incredible. He was literally on 2 wheels.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate there for Gascoigne. I mean, it's not done too much to his delta. I mean, if you look at his delta, he's only a tenth off, so still somehow able to keep reasonable pace.
He went into the barrier tail first, so possibly not too much damage done there. But
he's lucky, yeah.
Just looking here, we're back with Marius Skuman up at the front. That gap is not huge. That's 1.7 seconds. He's lapping half a second quicker than Langeveld on that lap.
Yeah, so the gap is, as you say, Charles Langeveld putting the fastest lap of the race in there. The gap is increasing, but it's Mugello. Like, Marius must just keep his cool.
Yes.
And keep it nice and consistent. Often when I've set up the car for Mugello, I've always made sure that I've got a setup that's very stable. So maybe I lose a tenth or 2/10 a lap, but I happily sacrifice that to know that I will get to the end of the race. You know, as we come through Casanova here with Marius Skuman, you know, there's so many places that you can get it wrong, and just the car spits itself off, and that's it, your race is done. So, you know, the Arabiatas, I keep banging on about that. That's a place. I mean, even the last corner, and I can't remember the corner's name. As we come up onto it, I'll let you all know. But it's tricky to get right because the camber's a little bit off, and you come down here. This Coronet. Oh my goodness.
Savelli
or something. That's that corner. To get that right, because you're going down the hill, it's very easy to lock up and end up in the gravel trap. Of course, you won't end up with too much damage there, but it does definitely ruin your race.
Got you. Okay, Buchner, everyone coming now down towards Corintau, or whatever it is, yes.
As Andy Warbolt has made a move on, who's that, Marco Grassa?
Grassa, yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's had an off, and that's why that's happened. Just having a look up and down the field for where the action is. Matthew Boy and Buchner are nose to tail trying to carve their way through the field, and it's happening slowly. I'm sure Matthew would want it to happen a bit quicker than what it is.
I agree.
Currently stuck behind Raymond Duggan. The gap's only about 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, he's stuck in the middle of this midfield traffic that's having their own race with Bjorn Buchner and Duggan, etc. And they've got no reason to give way just because it's Matthew Boy.
Not. Absolutely not.
This is for position. I see we've got Jason Holden Jones on the YouTube channel. He's saying Skuman running a lot more aero than Langeveld. Big swing in lap times between Skuman and Langeveld.
Yeah, that's well picked up by our fearless leader, a man who loves the GP series.
Yeah.
I know that the GT series is so-called the darling of the Sim Race SA community, but our GP series has never been stronger. Three full divisions.
True.
Maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but I'm going to call it 3 full divisions, and that's the most we've ever had here at Sim Race SA. That's absolutely fantastic.
Looking at Langeveld and Skuman, both 1:34.9s as they go over the start-finish line, and that gap's down the straight. Yeah. That's what Jason was saying. It was 1.3 as they came onto the main straight, and it's 1.8 at the end of the main straight.
Matthew Boy lining himself up now for Raymond Duggan. He's never been closer. Just a tenth between them. I'm sure he's going to try and make a move as Buchner's trying to follow him through as well.
Yep, coming down the straight here, 3 abreast. Ooh.
Oh, Buchner on the grass. That is brave. That is absolutely brave. And is Matthew going to dive up the inside as we see Buchner trying to go around the outside? It doesn't work though.
Wow.
And Buchner falling then back to Matthew Boy. Oh, this is really tight racing.
That was.
This is what we love to see.
Jeez. Without the
somebody going off.
Huge off in the barriers, yes.
Yeah, that's Antipas. Unfortunately, off into the barriers. You see what I say? This track, Mugello, will bite. everybody. Do not underestimate it.
Yeah. Matthew Boyd definitely trying to keep in close proximity here to Duggan.
Gerard Pretorius also a couple of places ahead, having a massive problem, and looks very slow. I think he's just waiting for everybody to rejoin safely. That's fantastic to see from Gerard Pretorius, but unfortunately that's lost him, about 8 positions.
Yes.
One mistake, guys. One mistake around Mugello, and that's it.
And just behind Matthew Boyd, Cohn and Buchner have just swapped positions. The yellow car going past the orange car.
Indeed. Yeah, this midfield battle is absolutely fantastic. I'm loving it right now. Keeping an eye on the gap to the front, of course, with Marius Skuman now 2.8 behind Langeveld. He must have had a mistake. And I've got to be honest, I would be setting my car up like Skuman with lower downforce. That would be my inclination.
Look at Matthew Boyd down the straight now.
Oh yeah, here we go. He's going to have to make this happen. He's around the outside.
Yeah. The last of the late breakers.
Yeah, Duggan's done very well here to put his car in the right position. If Matthew can keep this around the outside, he might have an inside shot for the next corner, but unfortunately the grip is just not there on the outside of turn 1.
Sure. And Swanepoel and Pretorius also just swapped places, 15th and 16th. I saw that happening on the main straight. Always run wide.
Oh, he has. And we've got an incident behind us as well. But Matthew has made that position.
Yes.
Mistake there by Duggan, and he's taken full advantage. Oh, Duggan runs wide. That's unfortunate.
That's Cohen, I think, in the yellow car.
Yep. Couldn't really do anything about that. Went wide. Slid off on the grass, and then you're just a passenger, unfortunately, and Cohen has to pay the price.
Back on in 14th.
Stephen Sparks, though, gaining all of the time from that. Oh, having a dive. Not quite around what I'm just going to call Cornetto corner.
Cornetto. Good old ice cream corner.
Yeah, absolutely. You can sense that I desperately want summer to be here, and for it not to be absolutely freezing. As again, looks up the inside. Really needs to just line himself up nicely for this main straight, because you're going to get a wonderful draft. And really what you want to do is be on the inside. But of course, I think Duggan is a bit wise to that. Of course, we saw him defending against Matthew Boyd for lap after lap. Duggan doing exactly the same thing now, but unfortunately Sparks seems to have just got the edge over him.
Yeah, we were on board there with Raymond Duggan watching that all happen, and Sparks left enough space for him, but he still did close the door, and it was a great move.
Yeah, down in 16th now, Dirkie Swanepoel not having the best race. We just see Gerard Pretorius, who had that unfortunate incident through the Arabiatas, where we had to wait for everybody. He's now got past Dirkie Swanepoel, but we are used to Dirkie Swanepoel being a little bit higher up in the field, so he's just not quite gelling with Mugello tonight. I've got to say, up in 4th position, Brent Lindsay-Ray, having a fantastic race.
Yeah.
Brent's no stranger to the top 10, but certainly fighting for a podium position tonight, and right tucked up behind Peter Geldenhuys's gearbox.
And drafting down the straight.
And drafting, yes.
Yeah, the cars have no DRS. We have disabled that for this season, and so it's purely all about your drive out the last corner onto the long straights, and if you can get in the leading car's airstream.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to watch this battle with keen interest. Both of these drivers are pretty experienced. Peter Geldenhuys, of course, a team owner. Jan
Spammers down the straight. He's going past Buchner. They're next to each other into the last corner. First corner. Ooh, braking.
He may not have too much experience behind him compared to some of the races on the grid tonight, but he is exceptionally fast. This is a man to watch for the future for sure. We're seeing Jan certainly in his sort of qualifying times, hot lapping times, really improving.
Oops.
I'm hoping to see him really consolidate that into some excellent results this season. Last season took part with Point Blank for a little bit, but is now with BWR.
Yes.
Gerard Pretorius, I think he just jumped through the gravel again.
Yeah, I've been on board with Bjorn Buchner after the Spammers dice, and he's just gone from like 11th back to 14th and just avoided Pretorius through the sand trap there. So it's a big up and down for Bjorn Buchner tonight. Up at the front, Lindsay Ray very close now to the back of Gelderhuys. That gap is 0.3 of a second as they bomb down the main straight towards turn 1.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Lindsay Ray maybe has a little bit less aero than Peter Gelderhuys.
You think he's a bit more slippery there?
Yeah, I do. I see Marmegi's come into the pits.
Marmegi's in the pits, yes.
Yeah, he was up to 8th. Marmegi having a quiet race, but really doing well. So we've got 26 minutes left of the race. This is about the time that everybody will start to jump into the pits. He's possibly a little bit early, but I think we see somebody else in the background there coming into the pits. Who is that? Dirkie Swanepoel.
Dirkie Swanepoel, correct, yeah.
So from now till about the 20-minute mark, expect to see people come in. And Marmegi, very clean pit stop, out in 15th. So he's going to be a man to watch out for trying the undercut.
Currently driving on board with Brent Lindsay Ray, we've pretty much done almost a full lap behind Peter Gelderhuys, and he is half a second, 3/10 behind, and taking very different attacking lines. And Peter Gelderhuys looking a little bit nervous, shall I say, ahead of him as they come towards the last turn before the start-finish line.
Yeah, and this is exactly where Brent Lindsay Ray wants to be close to Peter.
Yes.
As we see Peter locking up a little bit, Brent keeping a nice tight line. We'll see what that does for him on the main straight. 3/10 behind. I'm gonna say it's not gonna be quite enough. Ideally, you want to be 2/10, I'd say, on this straight.
Yeah.
Peter really trying to break the toe. Brent having none of it, but it's not enough for him to throw a move down the inside and locking up as we go through San Donato, the first corner of Mugello.
Very close here. Peter was loose through this section as he's just done it again, and you can see Brent Lindsay Ray's. Oh, he ran wide there.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
Unfortunate. And is that Lionel Clue behind him?
That was Lionel Clue, I think.
Lionel Clue's now all over the back. Yeah, Clue having a fantastic race as well today. Also keeping his nose clean. Remember, he was in that midfield battle not so long ago.
Yes, he is. He's done very well to get up into 5th place. As we watch him come through Ariabata 1. So we're in the pit window, as you say. So we're going to see a lot of chopping and changing happen now.
Yeah, I imagine most drivers are going to want to jump into the pits around the 20-minute mark. They will try and get their, can I call it, longest stint out the way.
Okay.
First, that's again probably what I would be doing. But let's see what these guys do. Of course, we saw Marmegi and Swanepoel into the pits early. Swanepoel, I'm not surprised. He's had a little bit of a turmoil-ridden race. But we'll see how he does in the second half of the race. It's absolutely not over. 24 minutes to go.
As you can see by the timing screens, this is the closest between two cars on the track. Everyone else is pretty much a second or larger spread apart. Gelderhuys, yes.
So he's the first of our front runners to really blink. Not to say that Marmegi wasn't a front runner, but he was in 8th. Of course, Peter Gelderhuys on the podium at this current stage in the 3rd place.
Yeah. So we'll see where he comes out. He is out already. He's in 7th, I think. We'll just jump to him now. Here he comes. Matthew Boy's just passed him, so he's in 8th place and just ahead of Sparks. Yeah. So that's Peter Gelderhuys pitted. So everyone ahead of him has to pit, and we'll see how he does.
Yeah, absolutely. For someone in 3rd position, I think it's a great time to pit. Maybe try the undercut. Consolidate your position, where somebody like Langeveld, I imagine, will be trying to go as long as he possibly can, as we see Andy Walbolt into the pits as well.
Yes, just on board with Lionel Clue in 4th. He's 0.8 of a second behind Lindsay Ray at the moment as they come round back down towards the start-finish line.
Yeah, I mean that's very interesting because of course Lindsay Ray was really challenging.
And our leader's in.
Is the leader in?
Yeah.
Okay, so Langeveld's blinked first. Skuman
Langeveld's
stays out.
Skuman's gone past. Yep.
That's very interesting. So either Skuman feels he's got extra pace left in the car, or he's going to have to make the overtake on track if it does happen.
There was a quick stop. Langeveld's moving already. Lindsay Ray's in the pits. Klu's coming down the start-finish line, and Langeveld's out ahead of him. So Langeveld's pitted in and out, and he is in second place.
Yeah, that's crucial as the leader, is to get out and make sure you're not in traffic. So that's why I say often as the leader, staying out for as long as humanly possible is what you want to do, just to decrease the chances that you really get out into traffic and then have to work your way through while these guys are on low fuel but knackered tires.
Yes, we've just been watching Sparks go down the start-finish line and pass his boss, Peter Geldenhuys. So he's gone up to 7th now.
Indeed, as Buchner comes into the pits, and Marmegi, who remember was in 8th, first to the pits, and he's up into 14th now. Our resident Italian.
Buchner's also in the pits.
Just having a look for where the action is at the moment. It looks like Peter Geldenhuys is probably the closest behind somebody. Looking at
Sparks.
Sparks, yeah, of course, having made his pit stop, he won't be happy about that. He would really be wanting some clean air. This could definitely end up costing him 3rd place. You never know. Although we did see Brent Lindsay Ray make a mistake, so
Skuman's
in fact he's behind. Brent Lindsay Ray is behind Geldenhuys, so he must have made the pit stop without us noticing.
Yeah.
And now the gap is 1.3. So
the leader's in. He's just gone in and he's on his way out. Langeveld's gone back through. So Skuman's coming out and Klu's just driven in. So that's Skuman's pit done, and he's out 5-6 seconds ahead of 3rd place, who is
he's doubled his lead. He's absolutely doubled easily. Now it's 7 seconds. It's incredible. That really worked out for Langeveld. Well played to him.
Corne Breed now up into 3rd.
Yeah, all like getting lots of changes at the moment with everybody pitting. Matthew Boy in the pits, Sparks and Cohen all in the pits. Lionel Klu has fallen all the way down. He did pit, but he seemed to pit for an awfully long time. I don't remember Klu being all the way down in 9th.
Yeah, he's out. He's come out. Midfield. Geldenhuys now also finished with his pit stop, and all the others ahead of him is in net 5th place. The Azevedo in 4th place ahead of him, but I don't know if he's pitted yet.
I don't think Ryan's pitted yet there, Alan. I'm pretty sure we'll see a swap as Jan Spammers.
Yeah.
Klu's past Spammers, and I think, Jan has unfortunately had a spin. So his teammate Klu goes on sailing past. But I just feel like Klu was in the pits way too long. There's something.
Peter Geldenhuys is in the sand trap.
Oh, and that's a big mistake there, because of course he was our 3rd place runner before the pit stop started.
Exactly.
This has cost him big time. Brent Lindsay Ray was right behind him and is now into 5th. So I think Corne Breed won't have pitted either. So Ryan and Corne, I'm expecting them to come in unless Corne somehow pulled out some wizarding tricks I haven't noticed.
Matthew Boy in 10th now, right up behind Geldenhuys, and looking to pounce on him. So I'm not sure if Peter maybe had contact, or if that was overtake, a bump, a wheel, I don't know. But he's lost 5 positions.
Yeah, it's unfortunate either way. I think it was around the Arabiatas, which those are the killers, guys. Those are the absolute killers. Remember, Matthew Boy had a pretty good qualifying. He was well into the top 10, and then absolute disaster when he started. I imagine he may have had a little bit of damage. And now he's really starting to make inroads.
Spammers in the pits as Matthew Boy goes around the outside of Geldenhuys into turn 1.
I tell you what we did miss, in fact, was Marmegi. So Matthew Boy, I think, would have come out behind Marmegi, but a little bit of team orders there, perhaps, with Marmegi giving up the place to Matthew, who's on an absolute charge. And Geldenhuys must be a little bit disappointed with himself at the moment, because of course running up in 3rd, and now Matthew Boy is all the way past him.
A little bit further up the road, Duggan and Clue having a good battle for 6th and 7th.
Oh, yes.
Currently on board and following Lionel Clue. Very easy to spot in the lime green colours.
Yeah, absolutely. Another BWR.
Yes.
And of course, Clue, the BWR, challenging Duggan, Flying Gypsies. Big shout out to them.
I'm going to go on board with Clue as he goes down the start-finish line, and we'll see what kind of...
yeah, the drive out of this last corner is so important.
So currently 2/10.
Yeah, you see, if you're around the 2/10 mark, I reckon you have a shot at making a move.
Here he comes.
Duggan is no stranger to this. He's going to make sure he covers the inside line. He's going to force Clue around the outside. So Clue's ahead as we go into the corner, but can he make it? He has.
Yeah,
He's
he
made
has.
it stick.
Yep.
He's made it stick.
Jumped on board to Duggan and watched Clue going around the outside. Great job.
Fantastic from the 969 car.
Jan Spammers and Antipas.
Antipas in the pits, I think.
Antipas in the pits with LaRue. That's why that timing was so close. Sparks currently 4/10 behind Marmegi. And Spammers, there was a whole lot of left and right there for Sparks, but he managed to hold on to that.
Of course, both BWR drivers, so, no love lost there.
No. Spammers is close behind Pretorius. There's 3 of them here next to each other. It's Bjorn Buchner, Spammers, and Pretorius as they go through a big corner. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
We've about 30 minutes in, 16 minutes to go, and still there's crazy racing going on right now.
Yeah, Bjorn Buchner ran wide at the exit of going into Ariabata. He spun it. Oh dear.
Unfortunate. Who did he take out there?
Swanepoel.
Unfortunate.
He kept
Turkey's
going.
Really had that. Yeah, he has kept going, and Turkey's really, as I said, not had an ideal race, as we see Wold flying past Buchner. Oh, there we go. Ryan Dasvold is finally pitted. Him and Corne Breed are sort of the last of the kind of top 10 runners to pit.
Well, Matthew Boy's coming, but he's far. He's not far away. He's right there.
He will be right there. Whether the key now is, can Ryan get his tires turned on? I've got to be honest. Ryan has really gained. He wasn't seeming to have the best qualifying.
Yeah.
We're used to Ryan now being well into the top 10.
Sorry, just caught the end of Sparks and Marmegi in turn 1 having a ding dong for the overtake. Marmegi was about to turn it around and caught it, so that's all good and sorted.
Yeah. Got to say, the home ground advantage for Marmegi, getting his car in line there. Fantastic to see, up in the top 10, having a very good run this race. And Matthew Boy only 0.6 now behind Ryan de Azevedo.
Now watching Spammers again on the back of Pretorius. He was very close out of turn 1, but he's dropped back a few through the right, lefts and the chicanes. Breert in the pits.
Finally, Brett's in the pits as Peter Geldenhuys. Just watch that delta. He's really bringing it down to Marmegi. Marmegi seems to be struggling a little bit. Expect him to come good maybe later on in the race, but Peter Geldenhuys at the moment all over the back. Remember, he was 3rd.
Yeah.
Corne Breed in 3rd right now in the pits, but let's see where he falls down to. I do expect Brent Lindsay-Ray to overtake him.
Well, de Azevedo went wide through the last turn, and Boy is turning it on behind him from 8th. He's in the draft, and he's going to try and get him for turn 1.
I've got to say, I think he's a little bit far behind, but actually Corne Breed doing a fantastic job of flying gypsies all the way up into 4th. Lionel Clue is all over the back of him. Corne Breed wants to turn those tires on quickly to really consolidate that. We hadn't thought that he'd be quite this higher, but both Corne and Ryan gaining by running longer, I have to say.
There's Clue half a second behind Brett for 4th and 5th place. Pretorius and Geldenhuys swapping positions in midfield, 12th, 13th place. You consider Matthew Boy, Nick had a huge amount of dramas at the beginning of this race. He was 19th or 18th, 19th at the beginning of lap 2, and he's up into 8th place.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see. I mean, Matthew Boy is not a driver to ever give up. I mean, obviously, he will be disappointed to have all that drama, but he's really got the bit between his teeth and is absolutely flying right now. As we see Marmegi taking Stephen Sparks. I think Sparks maybe have it a spin.
Yes, I think so. You want to jump quickly to Clue, who's now attacking Corne Breet down the start-finish line.
This is perfect. You see, he's within, he's under 2/10. This should be a move. This is his time to make a move. If you're going to do it, now's the time.
Yeah.
And Lionel knows exactly what he's doing. He's going to be forced to go around the outside, but he's done this before, where he's just slightly ahead and take that outside line, give the guy on the inside a little bit of space, and you'll be okay because you'll be on the inside for turn 2.
Turn 2, which has just happened. Corne had a little bit of a slide there, and the car was a little bit loose, but
Boy making a move onto Azevedo, going up the inside. Azevedo let him make the inside move, and that's really worked out for Matthew Boy.
Excellent.
Fantastic racing.
Yep.
Ryan should have been maybe a little bit wiser to that, but as it happens, Boy is now up into 7th and probably has the pace to pull away.
We just jumped to Stephen Sparks, also going through turn 1 and getting very loose. Spammer's close up on the back of Geldernaes.
Yeah, Jan's had a bit of all over the place race. I'd expect him to be a little bit higher than 14th. As we said, I think a man to watch for the future. As I think Marmegi's made a mistake and Gas Cohen, no, actually possibly not. Gas maybe just making a fantastic move for BWR on the point blank. Marmegi in 10th. He seems to like 10th at the moment. As we see Leslie De Bruyne in the YouTube chat saying, "Go Pete and Durkee, nice driving, guys." Yeah, absolutely couldn't agree with you more, Leslie. The driving from these guys tonight, don't make any mistake. These cars, even though they're the F3s, it's not easy. It's absolutely not easy.
No, it's not. Still on board here with Spammers following in Geldernaes' footsteps as they head down towards the start-finish line. And Geldernaes is right behind Pretorius. So there's going to be a 3-way tussle here within the next lap or so. And there's 10 minutes left in the race.
Yeah, all to play for, of course. Peter Geldernaes really falling back there. Remember, he was in 3rd at one stage. So he's not after the pit stops, really not loving it. As we see Spammers trying to make a move.
He's going down the outside.
Going to have to run around the outside. He has got his nose ahead. Leaves a bit of space.
Ooh. There was contact there, I'm afraid.
It's unfortunate. I was on board with Spammer, so I didn't see what happened. It looked to me like he did leave some room, but maybe Peter Geldernaes locked up. I'm not sure.
We were on board with Geldernaes when the move happened, and we saw Spammers come around the outside. I don't know if Geldernaes maybe bounced a bit off the inner curb. I'm not sure, but he did touch the back wheel, and that turned Peter Geldernaes around.
Yeah, I remember everyone that these cars don't have ABS, so it's easy to lock up. So when they're going wheel to wheel, it's like it's real skill these guys are showing.
Yeah.
And especially, I tell you what, Mugello, I personally have never had a particularly good time at Mugello just because of how tricky the track is. I've never been able to get a full race in without making some kind of mistake here or there and costing myself a bunch of places. So yeah, just keeping these cars on track and going at a good pace is a feat in itself, let alone going wheel to wheel.
Yes. Currently watching Stephen Sparks in 11th as he comes down onto the start-finish line. He's under half a second behind Marmegi as they go over the start-finish line now.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he's able to make a move here, but he's certainly closing in. Marmegi just needs to cover the inside line. Oh, as he does, there a lot of overspeed. You see, he just draws level as they come into turn 1.
Yes.
But because Marmegi covered the inside line, I should say, there was kind of nowhere for Sparks to go.
No. He did attempt a little bit of an undercut on the exit, but Marmegi was wise to that. Positioned his car perfectly in the middle of the track.
Yeah, and just fallen back a little bit. You can see how much understeer he's struggling with behind the back of Marmegi.
Is that dirty air through the corners, Nick?
Yeah, Definitely.
Okay.
These cars do. They don't struggle as much as a Formula One car, of course, but yeah, you do have to watch out. Mommy looking like he ran a little bit wide through the Arabiatas. And a shout out, of course, to Christopher Langeveld, who's still in first. Well, I say still, he's been dominant so far in this race. 8.6 seconds ahead of Marius Skuman, trying to keep him honest. And you know, the gap between Skuman and Lindsay Ray just shows you how much of a 24 seconds shows you how much of a class of their own these two are first and second
Yes.
position have been. But Langeveld definitely has a little bit over Skuman over the long haul. But one mistake, and that will change. So everybody, hang on. It's not done yet.
It's not.
7 minutes to go.
7 minutes, and we've got Lionel Kluge sitting 1.5 seconds back from a podium in third place behind Brent Lindsay Ray. He's certainly not going to give up. He's going to drive hard here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Lionel Clue, he's shown some really good pace in the GP series over the last season or so. And to be honest, through either fault of his own or no fault of his own, like he's just not been able to quite convert that into a fantastic race result. And I'm sure today he's going to be seeing that podium and thinking, right, this is where I launch my charge. This is where I'll make my statement.
True. I've jumped back down to 11th. Stephen Sparks again, 3/10 behind Momegi and literally all over the back of him. He is always attacking hard here.
Yeah, but through Savelli, I don't really think there's too much, and through the Arabiatas, there's really not much of an opportunity to make a move. You just got to keep as close as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And then hope to make your move on the start-finish straight. And of course, Gerard Pretorius, who's had a few incidents, is now closing in. So we've got a bit of a sandwich here with Sparks in the center of it.
Definitely. We're on board now with Pretorius as we look ahead. Oh, and these guys are touching.
Good hard racing.
Sure.
Oh, clips a curb, and that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem right there.
So Pretorius inherits 2 positions from that.
Oh, that is really unfortunate. Honestly, Marmegi made the mistake and clipped the corner. You can see he's waiting for
Sparks.
he's waiting for Sparks, which is really gentlemanly, of course, and what we expect from SimRace SA. And that's exactly why I think our community grows from strength to strength all the time. But you know, it was a mistake to clip the curb, but after that, Malmegi was absolutely a passenger. So really big props to him for giving that place up.
True.
But,
Yep.
You know, a mistake by him. It wasn't malicious in any way, shape.
No, it wasn't. And up ahead, we've got activity with Cohen and Spammers. Oh, they're all over the place. Currently watching Cohen, who's just driven off the track and into the tyre barriers.
Both BWR drivers. Come on, guys.
Oh, no. And Gas has now just collected Sparks again.
Oh, all happening. And that's allowed Malmegi to get up into 11th. So he's only lost a position after the mistake he's made.
Yeah, it's your entry back onto the track. You know, you can't see properly behind you if you're coming at a right angle to the track. And he never saw Stephen Sparks, and Sparks came around a high-speed corner and just drove into the side of him. So Sparks is going, but he's in 13th place, and 2 positions. Keldenhuis jumped him as well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but as we see up towards the front of the grid now, Raymond Duggan jumping into the pits for 6th place at the moment. Matthew Boy gaining that 6th position and saying, thank you very much, I'll have that.
Yep.
But Corne Barrett is starting to close in on Lionel Clue. The gap is now 0.8 of a second. It was all the way down to 0.6, so watch out. He's made a couple of mistakes, I think, through these corners, and that's just allowed the gap to grow a little bit.
Yep.
Remember, no DRS, so it's not like they're waiting for a 1 second gap.
I see Mulder going through the sand trap just ahead of these 2 guys in the pink BWR car, getting out the way.
Yeah, helping teammate Lionel Clue out there.
Right, we're 3.5 minutes and counting.
Yeah, and let's give another shout out to Brent Lindsay Ray, having a fantastic race, keeping it clean, keeping it solid, and in 3rd position.
Yeah, it'll be an awesome result.
I'm sure he'll be absolutely chuffed with that. I don't blame him. That is fantastic.
Stephen Sparks now back behind Peter Keldenhuis, 12th and 13th. He's certainly going to have a lot of stories to talk about for his race tonight. So
that's for sure. 2 sim racing crew drivers, nose to tail.
yeah, just behind him, Andy Walbolt having a quiet race up into 14th place. And behind him, it's Cohen, Gas Cohen. Pretorius on the back of Duggan, 7/10 back. These guys are still quite close.
Yeah, the box seems to be struggling a little bit at the moment. I'm wondering if he's not had got some damage. Really see him spinning those rear tires up. I wonder if he's just lost some downforce at the back. As you see him going right through my favorite Cornetto
Who's that,
corner.
Nick?
That's Steven Sparks.
Oh,
So now it's bringing Walbolt and Gas Cohen into play, who are both having a little bit of a battle themselves.
oh, Gas Cohen going down the inside. No, it's not Gas Cohen. That's a Walbolt. No, it's a Leper going past him.
Oh, that's what it is, right?
Oh, Swanepoel off. Dirkie Swanepoel in the sand, coming back
Brandon,
on in 19th.
Brandon in the YouTube chat pointing out that Cohen is made up from 14th to 9th, so he's done well. Of course, Cohen is actually now down 15th, unfortunately, but he was running up quite well, having a good race.
Yeah, I think
for BWR Wolves, it looks like. Assuming that's no reference to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Oh no, I wouldn't know.
Sorry, Carla Pretorius in 9th, all over the back of Raymond Duggan.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. And having a look down the inside.
Yeah, unlikely to happen there, but he needs to keep close here because this is where on the straight, the main straights where it's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll stay on this. Always run wide, but he's very wide.
That is unfortunate, and we saw Marmegi make a mistake there. As I say, I've highlighted a few corners tonight, but we've seen incidents all over the shop. Mugello is a killer, guys. Watch out for F1.
Spam has gone past him. Marmegi's coming, and we're 30 seconds left now, so this is pretty much last lap here.
Yeah, last lap. Let's have a look at Langerfeld. 8.9 seconds, 9 seconds exactly ahead of Skuman. He's coming around the final corner. He will make it across the line for an additional lap.
Yes, he will. One more lap going here.
So one more lap to enjoy his chaps with 10 seconds on the clock as we cross the start-finish line. So I think Langerfeld has been absolutely imperious. His strategy was fantastic. We saw him almost double his lead during the pit stop phase. So the sim racing crew must be absolutely over the moon. The number 46 car really doing very, very well for them.
True. Currently just sitting on board with Andy Walbolt, who's attacking Steven Sparks in the last lap here. 7/10 back. Malmegi's just had an off and lost 3 or 4 positions again.
So he will be kicking himself for that. He was on for a good at least 11th position.
Yes. So Andy now half a second behind Steven Sparks as they go through your favourite corners.
In the YouTube chat, Wayne asking, why do we do time runs and not lap runs? I'm not quite sure what you mean by time runs, Wayne.
He means the race is 45 minutes long.
Oh, right, of course. Okay, so Wayne, we definitely do lap runs, so to speak. But it just depends on the series. The GP series is a 45 minute races. The when we used to run GT3 in AC, as we see Christopher Langerfeld coming around the last corner to take a maiden victory in the 2020.2 series for the GP. It's been a fantastic race.
Great job.
Really, very, very well done. I'm sure he'll be absolutely chuffed. Super race. But yes, Wayne, we do both. AC, we used to run when we did the GT3 series, we used to guesstimate how much an hour and a half would be. In ACC now, we do run an hour and a half rather than a number of laps. Alan, I know you're in charge of as we see sim racing crew lining up as they go across the line.
Photo shots.
one well done.
What I can quickly add to that is I think the decision is made to try and make the race just long enough that the cars are forced to at least have one proper pit stop. And if they did that on a lap count, it could be an odd number like 42 laps or 37 laps. So Ryan has just set it to a timing system rather than a lap count system. So there we have it, all done and dusted. Christopher Langenfeld, great result. Skuman second and Brent Lindsay third. We're going to see if we can try and get hold of Christopher Langenfeld. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's bring him in, see what he has to say for himself. A fantastic victory for him. Some really good results up and down the field. I'm sure there are going to be lots of people both happy and sad about how the race has gone. But that's racing, chaps. Fantastic to see. Loving the fact that we have 3 divisions now for the GP series. And once again, shout out to our charity, the Warmer Angel Project,
yes,
which is based in Port Elizabeth in South Africa, and has been selected by Jason Holden Jones. Charity is a big part of what makes Jason tick, and I think this is a fantastic cause that he has chosen for us. And I just like to say to everybody still watching, please hang on for a second, because Jason estimated and kind of gave Warmer a ballpark figure of 10,000 Rand that we would try and raise for them. And in fact, we have raised around 24,000 Rand for the Warmer project. So seriously, to everyone at SimRace SA, what a fantastic job by all of you. And really very well done. You should all be very proud of yourselves. I think it's a fantastic community to be involved in. Anybody watching, join. It's a brilliant time, and yeah, what a pleasure to be able to support such a worthy cause.
It is. Well said, Nick. And yeah, great stuff by everyone involved. The donations from various people, team captains, etc., and all the entry fees going to an excellent cause. Look who's just popped into the broadcasting booth, Nick. It's Christopher Langenfeld.
Fancy that. Congratulations, Chris. Well done. A very, very well-deserved victory. How was that for you?
That was quite nerve-wracking in the beginning because Marius was there all the time. So every single time you get like on the throttle, you have to be really careful, especially in the beginning because the tires are still cold. I was on hard, so it took me a while to get the tires warm, to get comfortable with it. But yeah, it's still nerve-wracking because you have to keep away from the curbs. Otherwise, the car will just turn around.
Exactly. Yeah. It was an awesome. It was a pretty clean race from you, considering. I mean, you hardly put a foot wrong, and you had a good a chunk of time in hand that you could manage from the front, Chris.
Yeah, it was. Luckily, I had that buffer because the back markers. It's really difficult to overtake them because you come up to them so quickly at high speed.
Yes.
And I just had to try and keep the gap to Marius. And yeah, that was about it.
It looked like from what we saw in qualifying, you had a much bigger gap over Marius than in the race. Did you actually have something in your pocket there during the race, or was it just a case of, hey, Marius was that much quicker in the race?
In the beginning, I didn't feel really comfortable because as like I said, if the car goes sideways, it's really difficult to catch it. And every time I got on the throttle, it felt a bit loose. So I had to just like keep the car on track. And then in the middle, just before my pit stop, I started to feel really comfortable and concentrate. But yeah, quite happy with that.
Excellent.
In fact, during the pit stop stage, it seemed when by our count, you were about 3.5 seconds ahead of Marius going into the pit stop phase, and then you came out about 7 seconds ahead of. So your strategy clearly worked for you.
Yeah. The lap that I came in, I really pushed hard, and I didn't miss the pit box, so it was mistake free.
Perfect pit stop for you there.
And everybody was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Was there a reason that you ran a little bit longer as a strategy?
I tried to do it like halfway, but I saw all the back markers. There was a back marker in front of me, so I didn't want to get caught up with him. So I just probably pitted like a lap or two earlier.
Okay. Just looking on the YouTube channel, Peter Geldenhuis has joined there, saying his second stint he lost a lot of understeer. Lost a lot of
Actually,
handling, I
got a
think.
lot of understeer,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And he's just saying, well done to you, Christopher. So, yeah, great race, man.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, fantastic. Really well done, bud. A great victory and first of the season, of course. But we didn't have our current champion Jacques Buerta. Are you worried about the challenge he's going to give you in further races?
No, if it gives me, if like it's close at the top, then I really enjoy it more because then it pushes you hard. And especially with these cars, I mean, if you go off track, it's basically done if you get stuck in the gravel.
Yeah.
So that brings up another equation.
It does. Look, there's going to be a later challenge because he is going to come, obviously, he's going to come back and he is going to be as quick as he has been. It's going to now be up to you to try and, stay in touch and just, finish higher positions all the way for the next 5 races and then see how your standings are. But I'm sure you'll be fine there, Chris.
Yeah, I'll push my hardest. If I'm not quick enough at the day, I'll just try my best.
Excellent. Well, that's it for tonight, I think, Nick, unless you've got anything else to say, sir.
Well done once again, Christopher. That was a fantastic race, and also well done, of course, to Marius, a wonderful second position, and Brent Lindsay Ray finishing out our podium, a fantastic third place there. Very well done to all of you. I know you've all worked exceptionally hard. The GP series, it's not an easy car to get under your belt. No ABS, no traction control, none of that stuff. And yeah, fantastic racing. Thank you, everybody.
Cool, thanks.
Chris, Sas van der Westhuizen, one of our Div 2 drivers, and as you know him in the thread, saying, any advice for Division 2 on Wednesday? What do you suggest or recommend?
I would just say try and get comfortable early on the throttle. Because, I mean, that's probably where I got most of my time. Because especially like when we did the V8, I was quite competitive there because there's no traction controls. Because I have a really good feeling of the throttle pedal.
Yes.
And that was the beginning I struggled with. So every time I pushed a little bit too hard, the back would get loose.
Okay, got you.
So yeah, but just don't get too quick in the corners. Otherwise, you lose on exit.
There you go, Sas. Hope that answers your questions for Wednesday. Thank you to everyone involved. Thanks for joining us, Maria Skuman and Barry and everyone else on YouTube. Nick, thank you for your time in the booth with me, and we will see everybody again on Wednesday night for Division 2.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alan. A pleasure as always, and good night, everybody.
Cheers all.